Now, Bama Nation, I know what you're all thinking right now. Thank God my blood pressure went down in the second half and I was able to puff that cigar against Tennessee. You're rocking and rolling right now on the hottest show on the streets, number one form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Bama getting the 34-20 victory over the Vols last week at Bryant-Denny. Alabama bye week this week, preparing for LSU next week in Tuscaloosa. In my own words, we're bringing this to you from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you through YouTube. Speaking of the channel, you know what time it is. You hit that subscribe button right now. You tap subscribe. You get everybody involved, every friend, every family member, diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football, because if you're feeling the content, you know what they will also. You smash the like button too. You hit that thumbs up. Get those like numbers up right there. Trying to get the show 50 likes out the gate to start at that daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily Super Chat Go. We appreciate that from all of you. And we want to hear from you tonight. And you can do this by calling 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be known on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from all of you, the Bama Nation. Well, John, as we start this thing off here on a Monday, kind of a fun conversation. Is national media starting to sing a different tune when you look at this Alabama football team? Remember in the preseason back in the summer when the conversation was, okay, Georgia is the dynasty, Georgia is the team to beat in college football. What is Alabama? What is Nick Saban? They're not doing it anymore. There's another team that's doing it in college football. And the masses were looking at, you know, there's an issue with Coach Saban. There's a problem with Coach Saban. The end is definitely near. The retirement has to be around the bend. He's got to hang this thing up at some point. And here we are, 8 weeks into the college football season. Alabama 7-1. Alabama, all of the postseason dreams still intact, still ahead of it. Alabama still controlling its own destiny. Alabama still in the driver's seat to win the SEC West, to get to Atlanta to compete for a conference championship, and possibly get into the college football playoff and compete for a national championship. It's crazy. After a week 2 loss to Texas, where everybody had part two, or most people had part two, of the Dan Wolken article of USA Today from 2015, where it was the sky falling and Alabama's dead, buried, and gone. Yeah, it was part two of that notion for a lot of people. But Alabama's been rolling off wins since the week 2 loss to Texas. Is this team perfect? Absolutely not, far from. Is this team elite? We're still debating that conversation. This is the most unpredictable Alabama team we've seen. You don't know what's going to happen, but this Alabama team is basically like this Alabama team is basically like a horror film, to where you don't know who's around the corner, you don't know who's going to jump out and scare you, you don't know what in the world's going on. You're sitting there about to spill your popcorn over, and you're just like, I don't know what's about to happen. It could be chaotic. It could be bad. It could be amazing. But I don't want to leave, because if I leave, I'm like, well, what the world happened? Now I got to rewind the movie back. That's this Alabama football team. It's like every game, John, we're seeing penalties we shouldn't see. 3 false starts a game. we're looking at a bad snap ever so often. We're looking at, can you please just have something good happen on the punt return? You're looking at so much stuff. But then, at the end of the day, you figure out, okay, great play on defense here, great play on defense there. Jalen Milroe somehow finds a way. And at the end of the day, you look at the scoreboard, you're like, Bama won? Bama won? All right. 1-0 again. It's the most unpredictable Alabama football team that sits right now at 7-1 in college football, still in control of its own destiny, despite all of the hoopla, the hullabaloo from national media that started here in the preseason. And Alabama continuing to roll off wins since the Week 2 loss to Texas. The most recent one came over the weekend. You get a 34-20 victory over Tennessee, putting yourself back into the winning way where the victory cigar tradition is concerned. Tennessee puffed them last year at Neyland Stadium. Alabama got that get back over the weekend, puffing the victory cigar inside Bryant-Denny. John, was it me, or was Bryant-Denny consistently in this Tennessee game the loudest we've ever heard it? Like, consistently from start to that place was rocking. Like, Nick Saban on Hey Coach last week said, I don't do this a lot, but I'm calling on the fans. Fans, get in there. You create the winning momentum. You create the atmosphere. You create the mentality. Like, Saban challenged the fans, pack this sucker out. Show the players you support them because they feed off y'all. Pack this out. And I be dog, John, there was not an empty seat in that stadium over the weekend. And I counted. There was not one empty seat in that house. Like, it was full from kickoff to the final whistle. That thing was full. And the passion of which the fans sang Dixieland Delight at the end of this one, mercy. There was even a video, John, Terry Saban. The Terry Saban statue has got to go up at the end of this year. If Alabama wins the national title, if Alabama wins it this year, there's got to be a Terry Saban statue built right next to the Nick Saban statue. I'm just saying. Because when Dixieland Delight started going, the cameras panned to Miss Terry and Kristen Saban Settis in the crowd there, and they were just passionately singing, going bonkers Dixieland. Like, Miss Terry was waving that pom-pom like there was no tomorrow, and she was going in. Like, Miss Terry and Kristen Saban were going in singing it. So I'm just saying, if there's a national championship for Bama, Greg Byrne, if you can hear me right now, please get to work on the Terry Saban statue. Can we just put that in writing? Appreciate that. This has been stamped by the entire Bama people to get started on the Terry Saban statue. But I digress from that. So you did get the victory cigar smoke there. Coach Saban enjoyed that. Enjoyed it so much that he gave the players Sunday off from practice. That they went back to work starting today, and of course tomorrow they'll get some work in as well. But Bama jumping into the top 10 according to the AP poll. They're number 9 now. Bama has jumped back inside the top 10. They're number 9 in the country for the AP poll. Still can use some help from a few teams losing. Of course, you got the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. The Big 12 also. They're playing their teams in their own conference now. So a lot of these teams will cancel themselves out by losing. Bama continues to win and get itself to the SEC championship game and handle Georgia. It can find itself in the college football playoff. But the big thing, it's back in the top 10 at number 9 here in the AP poll. So that was big there for Alabama. That was big for this program, and it remains in the driver's seat, people. It is right there controlling its own destiny to get to Atlanta. Now, next week, you got LSU coming into town. That's going to be a night game, marquee match. I think CBS has already got this game for 6:45, 7 p.m. Central in Bryant-Denny. So they're going to really hype this game up. They're going to really push the ticket for this game. You got Brian Kelly, you got Jayden Daniels, who's a Heisman Trophy front runner here for LSU. You got Harold Perkins, a really good linebacker for the Tigers. But you have Alabama here, who is just finding new ways to win and confidence. And, even though Saban mentioned in the postgame presser that this team takes years off of his life, but he loves it anyway, I feel like, this is what I feel like. I think Saban would much rather have it this way. Even though this team takes years off of his life, I think he would much rather have it this way. And here's my theory as to why I feel like that. Because Saban wants players to listen to him. Saban wants players to understand what I'm telling you has meaning, right? What I'm telling you has meaning. What I'm telling you has merit. And he loves a young team because a young team has a way of understanding. When we screw up, okay, there's a reason why Nick Saban says what he says. There's a reason why Saban is on us the way he's on us. Let's now really, truly pay attention. Because a young team you can mold. A young team you can mold. A young team you can develop. A young team you can help them guys get right. And Saban has been able to do that with this group right here. Yes, they're not perfect. Yes, they make some bonehead mistakes. But Saban has a way of getting to this team where they respond within the adversity. And some of it self-inflicted. They respond in the bonehead mistakes. And some of it self-inflicted. So even though you like the experienced groups, even though you like the teams that have the veteran players, I feel like Saban would much rather have it this way because he's got a group that he can solely pull the best out of. And after a win over Tennessee and how smoky BDS was over the weekend, he's got a team that is fully bought into what he is saying. We're still waiting for that complete game from start to finish, and it's coming. Still waiting for that. But I think after the win over the weekend, Saban is getting more of a team that pulls out what he is trying to convey or what he has been conveying to them. But we take our first break here on the show. On Touch That Dial, we're just getting started. People, upon our return, we go to the phone lines. We grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Line us up. We want to hear from you right after this.
Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
9 players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, folks, we're back rocking and rolling to the action from the break. Number 1 ticket for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy to have you guys in here on a Monday bye week. But Alabama preparing for LSU on next week. We got to give a shout out to the man, Dale Bay, with that $10 donation. Putting the love there in the hat. Dale B. Appreciate that right there. And then we got DJ Webb with the $10 donation of his own credit. Dropping that in there, so Dale B and DJ Webb both helping us out here on the show. Before we get to the phone calls, the call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. Gotta give a word here to our sponsor. Today's segment brought to you, sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. That's Underdog Fantasy, Underdog Sports. Definitely check those guys out. They are incredible. So when you look at Underdog Fantasy here, we see a lot of you as fans. You're downloading Underdog, using the promo code, and having fun, which we love to see. We do. If you haven't already checked them out, be sure to do so. It's super easy to use. You go on the app and go pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total than what is listed. Maybe you want to do an Alabama special. We just had that over the weekend with Miami versus Philadelphia, Tua, Jalen Hurts, all those guys. So maybe you want to do an Alabama special where you pick and you can insert your own Alabama player, whether that's Jalen, Tua, Mac, Bryce, whoever you like out there, and you want them to go higher or lower than the stat total that week. You do that with 2 to 5 different players and you're in business. If you go 5 for 5, you can 20 times the money, 20 times the output there. So sign up today using the promo code Alabama and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. You visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with my promo code Alabama to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Underdog Fantasy, Underdog Sports. Check those guys out. They are phenomenal. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in to let your voice be made known on the show, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feeling, state your name, and where you calling from?
Hey, Steve, how's it going? It's Jay from Pensacola.
Jay, doing good, man, doing good. How about you?
I can't complain, man. Just trying to keep my road rage off on this road because these people can't drive. But I digress.
Look, man. Look. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You're gonna always find yourself in a situation or two where you're dealing with people that don't have the best in road driving.
I agree with you 100%. But what I am happy about that road tire, though. I am happy about that. I took so many pictures. I can send it to you on Twitter. I took so many pictures of the fans' faces after the game. I took so many pictures because my wife was telling me all down her timeline, she's seen all week Tennessee fans talking trash throughout the whole week. So I seen her the pictures. I don't be on Facebook. I be on TikTok, but I posted so many pictures on Twitter of the Tennessee fans after the game. But I have two statements, and I have one question for you.
Go ahead.
So I feel like a lot of people want to blame Jalen Milroe for some of the stuff he do. I could put slightly blame on him for the and the players for not executing like they're supposed to. But in my opinion, Tom Reese didn't call the same plays he did in the first half he did in the second half. It's just my opinion. I don't feel like Tommy Reese is that. I know we talk about them playing the fourth quarters. I don't feel like Tommy Reese is calling fourth quarters, in my opinion. But my question for you is, if the committee, if nobody else loses, and you got the 4 undefeated teams, or if you do have 3 undefeated and one team with a loss. A lot of us have one team or one loss. So how is the committee going to handle that versus if we do beat Georgia in the SEC championship? I don't know if the committee was going to choose Georgia over us anyway, regardless of how we beat them, because the committee don't want to see us in there. So how would that work out?
I think the big thing there, Jay, is Number one, if you're an Alabama fan, you are hoping for more teams in front of you to lose, right? Because you have several undefeated teams in front of you, and the committee has this eye test where they want to see, can you just completely dominate the opponent? The committee, to be honest, they're waiting to see, can Alabama put together a complete game? If Alabama could just put together a complete game from start to finish, whether that's LSU, whether that's Kentucky, whether that's Auburn, whether it's Georgia in the SEC championship, then the committee could get Alabama in there. I think the committee is waiting for, can Alabama have just one game, maybe a couple, but at least just one game to start where from start to finish, Bama just controls the whole game, because we haven't quite seen that yet.
Of course, Ohio State and Michigan. So one of them going to have to lose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be our opportunity right there. I feel like if it comes out between us and Ohio State again, if we beat LSU and play a full 4 quarters of game against LSU and Auburn and beat Georgia, the committee has no choice but to put us in there.
Absolutely. Appreciate Jay from Pensacola getting us started here on a Monday. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, boy, my Steven, this is your boy Noah from Virginia. How you, buddy?
Doing good, and yourself?
Steven, I hear you talk about Tennessee Vol. I was watching that game, but I'm tickled death we won that. I think it was like 43-20. I'm tickled death. I'm predict that score at Tennessee. And let me ask you another question real quick, Steven. I hope we predict LSU, Alabama 42, LSU 20.
Alabama.
How you say his name? Milroe, dude. Jalen Milroe. He's done a good job. I'm proud of him. He's done good. I know what we done in over at Tennessee game, but we come back in the third quarter and brought that victory.
Absolutely. Appreciate Noah they're calling in from Virginia. He's got 42-20 Alabama in favor of LSU. So we're putting that one down. I thought Milroe did well. I thought he finds a way to bounce back and play his best even through adverse moments. We'll get into that more so in the second topic, but we're going to take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven, it's Mattress Matt in Mobile, Alabama. How you doing?
Doing good, Matt. Cannot complain here. You got Bama on the bye week, but Saban getting everybody focused on. You got LSU coming in next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a long 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend, just twiddle my thumbs and watch some of the other games, I guess. But the guy was, we've been talking about Milroe, and, Milroe can only be as good as the offensive play calling. I mean,
we got some static there on you, Matt. So we got some static there on you.
Hold on.
Not better there.
Is that better? Okay. Milroe can only be as good as the play calling. I think, I think the momentum of that game changed with that. Do you remember the jet sweep to Kendrick Law?
Yes. Why is that not being ran more?
Man, Kendrick Law. He got downhill like 35 yards in like 2 seconds. I mean,
it looked like Ardarius Stewart from when Lane Kiffin was running it.
It did. And what I noticed, it seemed like we were doing a lot of that misdirection like Sark and Kiffin did. And so it's like everything just completely changed the way he was running the offense. And so to me, I'm excited that Tommy Rees has at least got that offense in his playbook. And my question is why, if we're ahead, what I noticed is if we're ahead, why do we have to go back to the drop back offense And I know maybe we're afraid to turn the ball over or something, but why don't we just turn on the juice like that the whole game and run that motion misdirection the whole game and just keep the juice flowing? Why do we have to let up and just try to run clock out by running up the middle? And why is it more conservative to do a traditional handoff up the middle than it is to do a jet sweep? I think the chances of fumbling the ball are the same, whether you just run it up the middle or whether you do a motion play. So why not at least give the players a chance in the open field to display their talent? But when you just run them into the wall, or you just drop your quarterback back to stand in the pocket and wait for all the receivers to get open, you're not really putting the ball in people's hands and getting the defense on their heels and at least giving the players a chance. Because I never knew Kendrick Law was that fast, because we're not, we haven't been creating an environment for the players to have the ball in their hands in an open field to have a chance to be able to utilize their speed. I just thought ever since the second quarter, when he started going to running people in motion in the background and then getting the defense going one direction and then move it in the other direction, it just that's just what I remember from Sark doing. And I don't know why we just don't accept that's our identity and run that the whole game.
And man, I look at it like this. I think after seeing what we saw from the second quarter on out, I think from the second half on out, I think Tommy Rees is finally starting to get the gist of, okay, I'm not at Notre Dame. I'm not at Notre Dame. I can't sit here and run the same stuff in Tuscaloosa that I did at South Bend and just expect it to work. At some point, I've got to tweak what I'm doing and implement some of the stuff that other coordinators prior to me getting in this spot have done. I think Reese is finally starting to, in his mind, see, okay, this motion stuff is working. Like, I haven't been using Kendrick Law. This is a 4-star wideout. Give him the football. And now I'm seeing what he can do. I haven't been using Isaiah Bond to his big top tier potential. Let's create a matchup. Get him the ball. I haven't been using other guys that I know have elite speed. So I think finally, Matt, the eyeballs of Tommy Rees are finally saying, I cannot be what I was in South Bend in Tuscaloosa.
Let's do it the whole game, man, from start to finish. Just keep the juice on, man. Run up the score.
Absolutely. Mattress Matt, they're calling from Mobile. Appreciate his thoughts here on a Monday. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, this is Ned, man, from El Paso, by way of Montgomery, Alabama. Roll Tide, man. I have a few statements, man. These last 7 games since the Texas loss, man, has shown that we are very resilient, and Jalen Milroe is also with the deep ball, man. I hands down, he's probably thrown the deep ball better than Tua, better than Mac Jones that I've seen in the last couple of seasons, man. And it's like you have to really understand that in the last 3 weeks, how Alabama has really shown its substance on the end of how they just really shut down the offenses. They look at last week. They went on a 27-0 run in the second half, man. And I mean, for real, man, Tennessee did not get off like they got off in the first half. It's like we are looking at a circa 2011, 2012-ish type of defense that has really shown its reared its ugly head. But like as the call before, we said, and even with that, it's like we can play a complete game. Like you said, we can play a complete game. for a full 60 minutes, man. And I think that's what they're really looking at. The committee's really looking at to want to put us in there, because if you look at the coaches poll and the AP poll, they're still behind Texas. But I give Texas all the respect because they beat us fair and square. They beat us hands down. Like I was telling my wife, who's a Texas fan, I said it's better to lose in week 2 or 3 than to lose in week 7, 8, and so on. But we have to understand that Bama has served them notice that you can do whatever you want to do in the first half. If you've not got that good gas and that good strong second half energy, man, we're going to wear you out, because it's like a switch hits and that defense comes down there and they're dogging, man, and then it gives, as the further the game goes along, and they get more confident, man, and we just blow them away. Like I've seen the last 2 weeks, man, it's been a great performance defense-wise. One more thing. As much as I love and appreciate the 5-star freshman Caden Proctor on the left side, man, we've got to get him some help on that side, man. Caden Proctor is a great 5-star recruit coming out of there, man, but the way Pierce just bulldogged him on one of those series, man, it was just like utterly embarrassing to me. Here's a 245-pound linebacker bull rushing a 360-pound, I believe, left tackle, man, and we have to get him some help on that side. He's good. When he works, he's working. Clean up the mistakes on the offensive line, man, I guarantee you we have a complete game. I think we have a complete game when LSU comes to town. We'll clean it up with Chattanooga, and then we'll wipe the floor with Auburn and Kentucky, and we'll be okay. I think we served the football world notice, man. I think they're legitimately growing, getting a little scared now, because they had us out last year with no problem. This year we went out. They have no choice but to put us in there. And I guarantee you, even serving notice to the SEC East with Georgia. Georgia's looking kind of rough right now. They lost Brock Bowers, and that's one of their guys. Their pressure releases. But if they don't get it together, man, we've really served the college football world notice now that we're coming, and you can't do anything about it. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man, for your time.
Absolutely right. Appreciate that call right there. Into the show. We're going to take this one. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's up with you, Steve, man? This is Jay from Smithfield.
Jay, what's happening, man? What's going on?
Man, the big buck, man. Caden got in there, then he did his thing. He must be listening to the show or something, Steve, because Caden got his booty together. He got to moving them big feet. Booker shut his big mouth, and he got to putting the hurt on people. Man, them big boys, they look all right out there, Steve. It's just your play callers still suck, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, we still looking at Reese, wondering, is he still running his hands through his head?
Yeah, I'm still want to know if he's trying to sabotage us, Steve, because see, that first half compared to that second half, you don't even look like the same coach. You know what I'm saying? You know,
I'm just saying. Like, I'm wondering, Jay, in the second half, did one of our analysts just move Reese out the way, and one of our analysts just started calling the plays?
You know what I'm saying? Somebody was calling them plays that was different, or at least he must have found his love for Alabama. You know what I mean? And he must have finally went and opened up that old Jalen Hurts package, because you see him with the little pop pass to Kendrick Law.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We've been asking for that all year. You see him immediately in the second half, he start motioning left and right, Isaiah Bond in game. We get a big touchdown off of that.
I'm saying if he the biggest thing with Reese, if Reese can just fully understand, I am not at South Bend, Indiana. I'm in Tuscaloosa. Coach like you in Tuscaloosa.
Nah, Steve, that's still another excuse for Buddy. He making $2.5 million for us to still be having these excuses for this man. But we was upset with college players getting a little bit of money in NIL when this man get a guaranteed contract. Man, Reese got to call better plays than that from the start of the game, man. You got a whole 7 days. You got a whole 14 days until we play LSU, man. We shouldn't see We should see a touchdown. I want to see dang near every drive, Steve. With the talent we got, the players we got, man, it ain't no reason why offense should be hard, period. I don't care if you got a struggling quarterback, a struggling left tackle. You should be able to scheme something with this talent that you do got, man. You should be able to scheme up things way better than you do. And Tommy Reese, man, I'm going to be the first fan to go on and jump out there, Steve. I feel like the man sabotaging us. He's not a Bama guy. After this year, I hope he takes the Northwestern job. We can get this man gone. Because, see, we going to harp on that second half. Everybody going to be happy about that. But Bama fans, the game is played for 60 minutes. And for 30 of them 60 minutes, you look like crap because of the play calling. It was nothing on the players. They had a whole bunch of enthusiasm. They was happy. They wanted to play this game. But now when you go out there calling them plays like that, Steve, them boys can't get down with you. You see how Jalen Milroe and Nick was interacting at the end of the game? Man, we seen some love in our team again. But we ain't going to see that when you got these bulls, when somebody who ain't from Bama calling these plays, Steve. You see what I'm saying? That man don't love Bama how we do, so he ain't going to have that dog in him how we do. I don't know, man. I love y'all. Roll Tide. Great freaking game defense. Quandarius Robertson is going to be big at the quarterback spot on Jalen Daniels. I want to see him knock his block off. Roll Tide, I love y'all, man.
Appreciate Jay from Smithfield calling in here on a Monday after the 34-20 victory for Alabama over Tennessee. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steve, my boy, this G.
G, what's going on, man? How we feeling over there?
I'm feeling all right. That was a great character win, and it's something about championship teams at Bama that have to fight with Arkansas and Tennessee. It's like when we win a natty, you don't escape those thrillers. And none national championship team we had. Can you recall that, Steve?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, G, that is a firm point. You look back, the national championships that Alabama has won under Nick Saban, many of them have come where you had to fight to take care of the Tennessees, the Ole Misses, the Arkansas, the LSUs. Like, you had to fight in those games.
And it's like those fights give us the ability to beat the hell out of everybody else.
Case in point, prime example, G. People compare this 2023 team to the 2015 team that won a championship. That 2015 team that won a championship, that team lost to Ole Miss in a fight, beat Tennessee in a fight. The final score was 19-14. And then that 2015 team also beat Auburn in a fight.
Yeah. I think what a lot of people got to accept about Bama, Steve, is like a lot of fans have to understand that the way teams play us, they play no one else that way. Like, these teams will make it to a bowl game and lose the bowl game just because they put so much into trying to beat us. So that's not like I'm not trying to give us a pass for why we struggle, but we're playing in a mini title game, playoff type caliber effort from people, especially people with talent. Tennessee, like you said, Ole Miss, Arkansas, people with talent, they just give us a big fight. But Steve, somebody on the inside listening to the show, bro, you can't tell me nothing else at this point. Hey, look, I said we needed a little more spark on defense from the middle position. Now, it wasn't who I was calling for in Jefferson, but hell, Campbell looked like Rashawn Evans to me out there. What you think?
I've said this. I've said this about Campbell. Campbell to me, I see you Rashawn Evans, but Campbell to me more athletic Mac Wilson?
I think. Okay, let me push back with this. I think he's too physical to be compared to Matt Wilson. You got to give me somebody else.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
You got to give me somebody else. He's a little too physical to be Matt Wilson. C.J. Mosley.
Okay.
He need about 2 more picks, though, to really be with big bro CJ. You know, CJ was down there safety. So I see CJ Mosley, though. I give you that. He is on that upper tier of Bama. And like I said, you know, the craziest play he made, you know, the scooper score was pretty. The IQ with that. The 4th down stop, that was cool. But the best play of the game to me was 3rd and 20. And he cut off a deep crossing route that went for about 17 yards into the field. He broke off that and came and stopped the guy 3 yards short of the first down. I said, oh, hell. That's that electric spark I was just telling Steve about. And that's what, you know, like it's no shade to Marshall. But what do we talk about, Steve? We got to have guys that got SEC speed. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we run at Bama. We run man with the safeties and corners, and we need our DBs. I mean, we need our middles to float and come downhill. So we got the spark there. That was there. I think Campbell has pulled Jaden Roberts out of snatched the spot. You done sat on the bench too long. Thank you, sir. I want it to happen one more time. There's nothing against this guy. But if we can add a little more spark out that position Jalen Key play, if we can get something a little more sparky out of that, Steve, I won't even watch the games no goddamn more. If we get Key off the field and get Mr. Mississippi out there, or T. Mitch, or Jake Pope, I'm not even gonna watch the games no more, Steve. Thank you for taking my call, bro.
Appreciate G from Raleigh calling in right there. Another position you get a little bit more spark in. Love Kool-Aid, but can Bama get a little bit more spark out of that punt return role? That's the one for me. Can Bama get a spark out of that punt return role? We take this call right here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Rob from New Jersey.
What's happening, Rob?
What up, dog? I couldn't wait to get on this line of Alabama tonight. Let me tell you something, man. I've been telling you about Campbell from day one, and you know it.
You have.
And
you absolutely have.
And I'm going to tell you right now, he is applying pressure. I don't know what Nick Saban doing as far as his kid, but I'm going to tell you right now, he better put him on the field or he going to be a transfer portal kid. I just got that feeling, man. He's outplaying certain players. I ain't saying no names, but this boy's a dog, man. He is a pure out dog. And I've been telling you, what's up with Campbell? Why they not playing this kid Campbell? What's going on with Campbell? From what I've seen, Campbell's doing the right things. Campbell's out there being physical and fast. I mean, what is the deal with Campbell? I don't want to hear that he's young. Listen, at the end of the day, man, it is just football. It is absolutely just football.
And Rob, I'm going to tell you this right now. Campbell has Saban's eyes on him. Campbell has Saban's eyes on him. He's got Steele's eye. He's got the eyes of Steele on him. Campbell's playing lights out ball. Dude is playing lights out ball. And is playing lights out ball at the best time. Just about every game this season, 30 has made a play on defense. He's made a play on special teams. Huge energy, huge athleticism. Really like this dude.
Campbell is playing pretty great right now. What do you think about his progression? You know what Saban said? Well, Marshall has a bruised rib, And, Lawson is this. He never mentioned Campbell's name one time. He said number 30. And I'm like, wait a minute. What's up with that?
Well, he's out there playing, though, Rob. I appreciate Rob from New Jersey calling in right there. Campbell's out there playing.
Always,
he's playing great. He's playing big ball out there, so he's got the attention of Coach Saban. He's got the eyeballs of the coaching staff on him. But we're going to – well, I thought we had a call right there, but 205-448-1358. As you guys are continuing to get your thoughts in here, we got to shout out Jason Hayward with that $5 donation, dropping that in there. Jason Hayward, we appreciate that. And then we got Crimson Kings with that $1.99, putting that in there. Appreciate Crimson Kings and Jason Hayward helping us out there on the show. But we go to our quick call topic right here, and that is on the NFL gave us a treat on last night, Sunday Night Football. The treat being Eagles, Dolphins, several former Alabama players on the field between both teams, including two of the most popular, two of the best quarterbacks of the Saban era, two of the most memorable quarterbacks of the Saban era, Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa going face-to-face. Hurts got the better of the matchup. Eagles winning 31-17. Jalen Hurts in the game totaled 3 touchdowns, dealt with a leg injury, had a brace on his left leg, but continued to play, continued to battle, that warrior mentality, toughen it out, helping his team to a 31-17 win. This could be, John, a preview for the Super Bowl for the season. We could see Eagles, Dolphins again in the Super Bowl. Both teams are good. Both teams are young. Both teams have a lot of talent. A lot of talent. I know people are looking at, the Chiefs to represent the AFC with Patrick Mahomes. I get that, but Tua Tagovailoa is playing major ball right now. I mean, big ball right now. Really having a good season. And then Jalen Hurts, we all know what he provides to that Philadelphia Eagles team, but the NFL treated us to Bama royalty on last night, Sunday Night Football. If you missed that game, you definitely missed a treat there, as you had several former tie players between the Eagles and the Dolphins out there on the field. Eagles getting the 31-17 win. But we take another break here, folks, on the show and touch that down, because when we get back, we dive into the marquee things that stood out from Bama's win over Tennessee. We'll get into that after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
I'm Malachi Moore, and you're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
All right, folks, we're back into the action right here from the break. Number one ticket for your Tide football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue smashing the like button. Give us that thumbs up right there, clicking the like button, hitting that subscribe button as well, making this your spot here, your network channel space for all things Bama football. That daily Super Chat Go, $100 daily Super Chat Go. Appreciate that from you guys, the Bama Nation out there. But, John, topic 2 of the conversation, other marquee standouts from, or the major takeaways, as I should say, from Bama's win over Tennessee. Number one, is it me, or does Jalen Milroe seem to play even better after making a mistake? It's like he plays his best ball in the face of adversity. It just feels that way to me. And, you go back and you look at the Texas game. He had 2 interceptions that game, but he made several big plays after both of those picks. You think about that. You go back and you look at the Texas A&M game. He throws an interception where if he would have let go of the ball sooner, Amari Niblack makes the catch and probably gets a touchdown off of it. But those a pick against A&M. But Jalen Milroe also has his career best performance against A&M. Career high for completions, 21. Career high for passing yards, 321. Alabama wins 26-20. And then just over the weekend, a pick against Tennessee, but goes for 220 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. So it's like, in the most adverse of moments, Jalen Milroe pulls out some of his best stuff. And it's incredible because it shows you how tough he is, how gritty he is, the mentality of, I'm going to get this done by any means necessary. And yes, he's still developing in different areas. He's still developing in the area of throwing the ball away when there's nothing there. He's still developing in the area of, okay, if I see the pockets collapsing around me and I know I can run, get out and make some shake. He's still developing in those aspects. He is. But we can't deny the weekly growth, the weekly improvements we are seeing from him. And that confidence is continuing to stack game after game after game. And this is good for him, and this is big for him. I go back to his performance against Tennessee kind of resembles what Blake Sims did in 2014. It's kind of funny because Blake Sims beat Tennessee as a first-year starter in Knoxville 2014 by the exact same score, 34-20. It was the exact same score. Blake Sims that year, I think he had 286 passing yards, 3 total touchdowns. Both of those touchdown throws to Amari Cooper, and you win that football game in hostile Rocky Top that year. And here we are again, Jalen Milroe playing Tennessee at home, first-year starting quarterback, despite the interception, goes out there, throws for 2 touchdowns, helps you win a football game. So Milroe showing you in adversity that he thrives the best in. Another highlight, how about Jace McClellan in the matchup? He picked his way to his second 100-yard performance of the season. And in the second half, he really got going. That first half, Jace did a little bit, not a whole lot. But that second half, Jay started to rip off some runs. He started to run with more of that purpose, more of that drive, more of that passion to him. So McClellan having a better second half showing than the first half and getting that 100-yard performance under his belt. Now, of course, we as consumers of Tide football, we would still like to see more Jam Miller, more Justice Haynes, more of that, if you will. But Jace did finish the game with his second 100-yard rushing performance, so you can take that to the positive there. Third highlight, Bama's got 2 wide receivers making plays, y'all. Jermaine Burton and Isaiah 007 Bond doing their thing out there. I mean, Burton and Bond, the killer bees are out there putting in the work. I mean, Jermaine Burton, I know there are times he can be a little bit of a hothead. He'll say stuff, he'll do stuff that have you go, Burton, what are you thinking? But at the same time, the guy's playing with extreme confidence. And I kind of see this, John. Is this Jermaine Burton's way of kind of being this year's offensive version of Tony Brown? Remember, Tony Brown was the emotional leader on defense for Alabama. Now, there were times where Tony, you probably wouldn't trust him as a coverage defensive back, but when it came down to having the intensity, having the passion, being the emotional leader, coming out the field with no shirt on, getting in the opposing team's head. You love that from Tony. Like, that was Tony's role. He was agent, make the opposing team mentally quit before the game started. That was Tony's role. And he executed that to perfection. Is Jermaine Burton kind of putting himself in that category offensively, where he's become the emotional leader of the offense? You can see that. I mean, Jermaine Burton running great routes right now, catching the ball cleanly, not having the drops that he had so badly just a season ago, bought fully into the program, mentally. But has he become kind of that Tony Brown emotional leader for the offense? I would go that far as to say that. And then Isaiah Bond, I mean, he has become the deep ball threat. I mean, he's become the number 2 option, but the deep ball threat to where he's getting open. He got wide open in the game against Texas A&M, touchdown. He got wide open over the weekend, game against Tennessee, touchdown. Being able to get open, create separation, fast, and get open. These two become the primary 2 receivers, the dynamic duo there for Alabama on offense. Flipping this over to the defensive side, this Bama defense, y'all, is good. I've said this. Kevin Steele was the right move. I know we all, I myself included, would have loved to have seen a Jeremy Pruitt, would have loved to have seen a Glenn Schumann, would have loved to have seen a Jimmy Lake, would have loved to have seen a Jim Leonard, or any of these other hot-name defensive coordinators back in the offseason that were out there, even maybe an Austin Armstrong. But Kevin Steele was the right person for this job, and we're seeing it right now. In the second half of games, the defensive adjustments at the halftime have been superb. I mean, I get it, Alabama did give up 15 points to Arkansas, but hey, I digress from that. I mean, the second half adjustment against Tennessee. You go back to last year, Pete Golding did not adjust, and Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt had a field day against Alabama secondary. This time around with Kevin Steele, you saw the adjustment quick. First half, Squirrel White had, 7, 8 catches? That second half, Squirrel with nowhere to be found. Like, they said Squirrel was locked down. Like, Squirrel White had maybe 1 or 2 catches that second half. 1 or 2 catches. Tennessee had 20 points in the first half. Nothing. Goose egg. Second half. Shut all the way down. Kevin Steele bringing pressure with Jahad Campbell, with Chris Braswell. And let me just say this. The Dallas Turner deserves the All-American talk he's been getting. But let's start throwing some to Chris Braswell, too. Braz is playing out of his mind right now. 6.5 sacks for him. 9 tackles for loss for him. I mean, he is playing stellar. Chris Braswell is adding more money to his NFL draft bag right now, if we haven't seen this. He's adding more money to his NFL draft bag. People forget, Bama signed 4 5-star outside linebackers in 2020. They signed 4. Will Anderson, Drew Sanders, Quandarius Robinson, and Chris Braswell. Will Anderson now in the NFL, number 3 overall pick. Drew Sanders transferred to Arkansas and became an NFL draft pick. And Chris Braswell, the patient one of the group. I mean, the patient one of the group is having an incredible season. Chris Braswell. What a year. What a year. What a year that young brother's having. This Alabama defense is good, y'all. They are good. They are good. Shut out Tennessee in the second half. Forced 3 turnover on downs. I mean, Chris Braswell rocked Joe Milton's world to the ground. Forced a fumble. Picked up by Jahad Campbell for a touchdown. Basically helped you cover the spread right there and getting the 34-20 win. So this Alabama defense, good. Really, really good. And can turn it on whenever it pretty much wants to. So those were kind of my major takeaways there from this game here. But we go to another break here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we return to we're actually going to get into the final topic here. We're going to actually get to the final topic here of conversation. Final topic being on what is Alabama going to do during the bye week? What does it need to work on during the bye week to prepare itself for LSU? We wrap things up with that after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama. And you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
All right, people, we're here from the break, rocking and rolling with you. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Appreciate all of you checking us out today. All of the phone calls, super chats, donations, YouTube chatting. You guys making this your spot, your show, your place for all things Bama football. Before we get into the final topic of conversation, John, got to congratulate Will Reichert and Jihad Campbell. Will Reichert, Alabama place kicker. Jihad Campbell, sophomore, Crimson Tide linebacker. Both of those two earning SEC Player of the Week honors. Will Reichert for the second time this season, SEC Special Teams Player of the Week, and Jihad Campbell getting his first SEC Weekly honor, making the SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Week. We're at 80 likes right now, but let's get this thing to 120 likes to go. Continue smashing the like button, hitting that thumbs up, give us that love right there. Trying to get this 20 more likes to 100 likes on the show. But we're looking right here. Bama's on the bye week this week. Alabama plays nobody this Saturday right here. But preparing for LSU, what does Alabama need to do here in this bye week to prepare for the Tigers? What's going to be the idea this week? What's going to be the strategy this week? Coach Saban, understandably so, going to want to get guys healthy this week. The guys have been nicked up, banged up, got some bumps and bruises, of course. You want to have those guys in the hot tub, cold tub treatment, getting their bodies back right, getting their bodies back set for what's going to happen the following week. You're taking on LSU in Bryant-Denny, a night game on November 4th. We know typically this game decides the SEC West, right? This game has grown into a rivalry that decides the SEC West, and in years past, this has been the game that normally decides who plays for the national championship. So this matchup set for November the 4th. It's going to be a night game. It's going to be crazy. I think CBS is going to have the call for this game. You got Jayden Daniels, who's a Heisman contender for LSU. Brian Kelly enjoyed beating Nick Saban a season ago, so you must believe he's going to want to try to do that again. But Alabama knowing that, hey, we got LSU on the soil of Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama trying to avenge the second loss, the team that beat it. Well, it already avenged one of two losses from last year, that being Tennessee. Now it gets a chance to avenge its second loss from a season ago. Those are LSU Tigers. So next week, big pivotal week here for Alabama football. But what does need to work on, John? I think number one, the snap infractions, number one. We've seen so many snap infractions this season from Seth McLaughlin. That needs to be worked on. Another thing that needs to be worked on this week is just more confidence out of that left tackle position. Hayden Proctor is making improvements. He's making strides. I want to see more of him slide his feet, more of him being able to establish his anchor, then reestablish if he gets thrown off, catch defensive linemen, being able to stop those guys, preventing those guys from getting to him. Jalen Milroe, and also this offensive line being able to be the aggressor in running the football. Another thing I want to see worked on this week is, going back to something that a lot of you fans have talked about, is Tommy Rees getting more out of those jet sweeps, those misdirections, those different sets of plays that create more juice, that create more energy. I want to see that being used more throughout the bye week. Another thing I want to see in this bye week is getting more guys on punt return. Can Bama try Emmanuel Henderson? Can Bama try Cole Adams? Can Bama maybe even try Kendrick Law? More guys being used on punt returns that can make those quick decisions, catch the ball cleanly, and make some happen. Catch the ball cleanly and get some positive going on that aspect. Can we get somebody else returning punts? I think that has to be at the forefront of Saban's brain this bye week. Can we look at somebody else in the punt return game that can create positive field position, that can create positive energy, that can make plays out there? Like for real. Can Bama get that? Can Bama get something like that out there? So to me, punt return has to be a focus. Confidence at left tackle has got to be a focus there. Continuing to grow Hayden Proctor there. Getting these snap infraction penalties under control. That's got to be a focus there. And then last but not least, getting more out of C.J. Dupree at tight end. And we've seen Amari Niblack make some plays, but I mean, Bama brought over C.J. Dupree for a reason, and it's we're not seeing much out of him. And it's not his fault. I mean, he's blocking absolutely, but we're not seeing the scheme tangled to him to where he can catch the ball too. So getting more of C.J. Dupree involved here in this offense, just some things that over the bye week I would like to see catered to. But as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, material coverage here on your favorite program, that being Tide Football. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store, the Rockin' Team Apple, Google Play Store if you got the Android phone. For your audio needs, check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Overcast.fm, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'm trying to be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. Gotta shout out all of you, the Bama Nation, for all the calls, all the super chats, all the YouTube chatting, all the donations, making this your spot here for all things Tide Football. We appreciate you guys. Gotta give some love to my man John Ivory working the production studio behind the scenes there. Appreciate him as always. Also gotta give a shout out to my wife at home, my girl Mia, about to celebrate her birthday on tomorrow. So baby, happy early birthday to you. And until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands, children. You guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Till next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.